Well, today we are Steve and Michele giving back, and that's the name of our show. And we have a great business owner online with us today, close personal friend. We've been through a whole weekend together. Her name is Jen Johnson, and yeah, John, thank you for coming, especially short notice.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me. What a pleasure.
Yeah. So, name of our show is just giving back, and so we just want to highlight you and your business. And how have you been?
Doing great. Doing great.
Yes.
The smoke's finally cleared, so I'm able to get back out there and go hike and do the fun things that I truly enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
But
Tell
yeah,
tell us a little bit about that, because I know hiking is a very important aspect in your life, and
it is actually empowerment. Many people don't understand the definition of empowerment. It's to make somebody stronger and more confident, right? So especially in controlling your own life, because you want to be able to be a self-motivator, because it starts with you. And that's the big thing. I've recently skydived. I have hiked, on a 3-day backpacking trip alone. I've crossed the paths of a bear.
wow, oh my
I've had some amazing experiences, but it wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have been able to empower myself. And it goes along with business as well as personal.
Yeah. So when you say empower yourself, like, was there a certain time, like backpacking for 3 days and a bear? I mean, those are all like super great highlights. So take us down this journey. What
Sure.
of
So let
empowerment?
me tell you what's empowered me. In 2015, I had a stroke. I was 300 and roughly 15 pounds, and I had been that way for roughly 30 years.
Wow.
I ate my way through life, literally, because that was the one thing that I truly enjoyed. It's the only thing I could really do, or really thought I could do, because, of course, your mind is the most powerful thing that you have available to you as your own personal resource. So in 2017, I decided to change my lifestyle. Of course, it took me 2 years to get to that point, but 2017 was a mental journey. It was a journey. I was going from being 300 pounds down. I dropped over 150 pounds in that
Wow.
short period of time. But during that process, I tried to commit suicide. I struggled with addiction. And it was a life-changing experience. And I had some super hardships. I, of course, separated and went through a divorce after 17 years. And in 2018, I set out that I wanted to do a hike. So, of course, accountability is everything, right?
Right.
And the first thing that I could do was socially put myself out there. And I did. I put it on Facebook and Instagram. I set a goal that I was going to do a 3-day hike. I was going to do 100 miles. And in 2019, March of 2019, I decided I was going to do that. And I sent my kids away for spring break. And I decided to hike from Mia Bay down to the Point of Arches and back. It was the most incredible experience I've ever had in my entire life. It was a very much if I can say, I tell people this, it was a bra burning experience. And mind you, I couldn't keep a job. So to go from having a stroke and not being able to keep a job to doing a backpacking trip, I ended up doing 150 miles in 4 days, and I hiked along the coast.
Whoa.
It was amazing, and it was the first time I'd ever done it. I was so heavy when I got fitted for my hiking pack. I was using a man's pack. So
So how heavy are you at this point in your life
Well,
right now?
how heavy were you when you started that 4-day trek?
I actually am the same size. So
Okay, so
I
you already
roughly
lost your
around
weight. Okay.
140 pounds.
Okay, so you
And
lost your weight already.
Yeah, I had already lost my weight. But it's funny because I'm actually starting an outfitting business, or working on a business plan for an outfitting business, where I do take people out who have been in my situation or have struggled, and taking them on a mental hike and taking them on a physical hike, combining those two things together so you can break that and learn to empower yourself. And again, it goes right back to being empowered. And the wonderful thing is somebody saw how amazing I was. I had a business owner locally here in Thurston County who saw how amazing I was and determined I was to become better. Jeff Seaman, my boss at PC Technologies, offered me a position. And since then, it's actually grown so much. And the great thing about it is I'm actually able now to utilize my own services within my managed IT services and telecommunication to go out and hike and skydive and do the things that I truly love and enjoy. Some people are blown away by the fact that I make 250 cold calls a day. But
yeah, that is definitely wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
but before we get down that path, let's take us on your 4-day hike.
Yeah.
All right, and into empowerment, because we don't have a ton of time, but we do have time for that journey. So take us down that
I guess I'll start in the beginning here. So I decided I had no tent. I just had a sleeping bag and very little gear.
Right.
And it's expensive to be a hiker. It is very
Yes.
costly. And for me, I, of course, wasn't working continually. So, bouncing around from job to job, I couldn't afford a lot. So I took what I had, and I actually had a 1960s Army sleeping bag that I took with me, super heavy. And if you're ever hiking on the coast, the Pacific Ocean, I will tell you that it becomes heavier and heavier with the mist of the water.
Of course.
But it was okay. And that was something that I was willing to sacrifice. But I pulled into a store on my way out of town. I live in Stillicum, and I was on my way to Nia Bay. I decided to grab some firewood, and I was loading it on top of my Xterra, and I had my Instagram picture self ready because I felt like that was the cool thing to do. And I'm loading up some firewood, and this little kid, probably around 14 years old, little teenager, walks by and asks if he could help. And that blew me away because I am truly empowered by young men who are willing to put themselves out there like that. No, sir, I got this myself. I will do it. I'm on an experience of my own, and I'm independent in doing it myself. And so he goes into the store, comes back out, and he says, "Are you sure I can't help you?" "Nope, I got this, but I appreciate it." And then, of course, he asks what I'm doing, and I explain to him what I'm doing and the determination I have. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well," and he bends down, he looks down, he picks up a nickel, and he says, "Well, here you go. My name's Nick. Here's a nickel for your journey." And that, I didn't realize that was going to be the pivotal moment in my life where my life was going to change. So I get to my destination. I'm at Mora, which is a campground right outside of Forks, one of the most beautiful places, Rialto Beach. And I am just enjoying my evening, getting a fire together. As I'm putting all of my gear away, I see 3 nickels sitting on the side of the ground. Just 3 nickels. No other change, just 3 nickels. And I'm like, well, this is cool. I am an earthly person. I'm very much into rocks and earth and anything that's going to give me vibe that tells me I'm on my true north. So I pick them up. Of course, I shove them in my bra because that's what I do. I'm just weird like that. And I do my sleep thing. I get myself ready. I pack up and I go into Forks for a good hearty breakfast because I'm thinking I'm going to be really working my tail off. I need some energy. And I get into there, and she's giving me my bill, and my waitress says, "I do apologize. I have no quarters left. All I have are nickels." And she paid me 70 cents in nickels.
Yep.
So then I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I'm on the right journey. And so I get to my hike, and there is a cliff. You can either hike your way down through a trail, or you can take a cliff, and there's a rope there. Never rappelled in my life. I've got about 60 pounds on my back. Never hiked with 60 pounds in my life, nor do I choose to carry that, especially being as overweight as I was. But I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it. I am terrified of heights, and I am slowly anchoring myself down to hike down this, and 2 bald eagles fly by. Never seen a bald eagle in my entire life. Like, I don't mean to get emotional, but that right there was the most, that was just somebody telling me that they're there rooting me on. And
Nice.
I get down, I do about 20 miles that day. And it was incredible. It was the most incredible journey just to be there with the wind and see the ocean and the cliffs and the trees and just be in that environment. And I get myself together. Of course, like I said, I have no pack. I have no tent. And so I'm laying there, and there's two natives that are walking along the coast, and they're like, hey, did you know there's crab washing up? No, I have no idea. And so I have a fire. They come over and they teach me how to break open the crab, and they're eating crab with me. So
Yeah.
we're sitting there, and I'm sitting with natives to this area, Nia Bay area, and we are enjoying this beautiful moment together.
Mhm.
And I just knew that was just the moment I knew that this was my place. This is where I needed to be.
Mhm.
And of course, I get to the point of arches. I come all the way back, and my total calculation for that entire 4 days was roughly around 150 miles.
Wow.
The journey that I ended up taking just on the beach alone was 53.
Mhm.
And I did it in 3
Miles
days
on the beach.
on the beach. It's very hard to walk in sand.
I was
Yep.
going to say,
Yep.
You do it when the tide is out. I did learn that. You do it when the tide's out, so the sand is nice and nice and
A
wet.
little harder. Yeah.
Exactly. But I tell you, I don't even remember being sore. I wasn't achy. I wasn't sore, just because my adrenaline was going so much that entire day.
Mhm.
The 3 days. I mean, I was just living my best life out there. And it was an experience that changed my life. It changed my life. I wanted more for myself. I wanted to empower other people, and I wanted to get people on the same page.
Nice.
And of course, now nickels, so
You
my
collect them.
intentions, yeah, I love nickels too. They seem to find me everywhere for some reason. I have roughly about 7,500 nickels now. My intention is to buy a school bus. And what I want to do with that school bus is I would love to outfit it with any type of gear anybody would possibly need to be able to enjoy the moments that I get to enjoy, because I love working my body very hard, but I also love to grow mentally. So whether it be in sales or whether it be in just, whatever I need to crush mentally for that moment, I enjoy doing that. And I want other people to experience that. There's a beauty within us that is driven. And, whether it's professional or personal, it can move people, and it can move you.
You have to break through something, right? You had to, because tell us a little bit about early on. You had a stroke, and was that the pivotal moment? Because you said you were suicidal too, as well. So
it wasn't a pivotal moment. Actually, you would think that I actually lived in Eatonville at the time, and I was in Puyallup. I was driving, and my hand went numb, my right hand completely numb. And it wasn't like going to sleep. It was numb, like there was no feeling. And it resonated up my arm, and it went into my neck and into my face. And then it went down into my chest and my leg. So I pulled off to the side of the road for about 30 minutes. I was just trying to gain my composure. Believe it or not, I drove home. I drove home and took a shower.
No.
And at the time, my husband at the time, I was explaining to him, I just don't feel right. My brain is just, I can't get out what I needed to say. And my left hand, for some reason, wasn't working properly. Like it was kind of like in a crippled state. And he's like, no, you're fine. You seem fine. And he really was like, just lay down. Maybe you need a nap. And I was like, no, I think I might need to go in. So I go in. And I decide to go to urgent care. Just take me to urgent care. I don't want to make it a big deal, because I'm that kind of person. Things don't need to be a big deal about me. And so they're like, you need to go to the hospital right now.
Yeah,
like,
it's a big
we will
deal.
take you by ambulance, or he needs to drive you immediately now. Go as fast as you can. And so I get there, and I ended up having a stroke. It left me with 3 lesions on the left side of my brain. But I will tell you, it took me another 2 years to get myself together, to be able to get the determination that I didn't want to have another stroke. I was on a CPAP machine. I was on about 18 medications. I had headaches constantly. I couldn't focus. I couldn't keep a job for 3 or 4 months at a time. I mean, I couldn't. And before I did insurance sales, I worked for State Farm. I was a mover and a shaker in the Puyallup area, and I enjoyed every bit of that. But yeah, no, it took another 2 years, and it wasn't the stroke. It was the fact that I didn't like the way I felt. I didn't feel like myself. And so those were the changes I had to make.
Nice. And so now you have had a second chance. Now tell us about your now business that you're super excited about.
So I work for a company called PC Technologies. We are a managed IT and telecommunication company. We're based out of Olympia, Washington. So we are local, which makes us one of the better, one of the better businesses in the area, to be honest with you, because we support small, medium, and large businesses.
Mhm.
We help businesses grow. We have helped numerous companies grow during COVID. What my job is, and to be selfish, I enjoy selling and promoting my telecommunication company. And the reason why is because I utilize it on a daily basis, especially whenever I am out hiking or skydiving, or even just, driving around in the woods because I just need a moment of quiet, watching the sunset. Download up to 250 cold call numbers and I'll execute it directly to my phone. And all I do is call after call after call because it's a wonderful app.
Mhm.
I've been in Canada before, and I have actually done cold calling in Canada, and it doesn't cost me extra. So I don't have to pay international charges for that.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
when you said that you do that on I was like, oh, I find out more. That's fascinating. So you have an app and it actually loads all the numbers that you need to contact.
Absolutely, yeah. Everything that I do on my desk phone or on my desk computer, I do on my personal cell phone.
Okay.
I have everything from transferring and receiving calls, utilizing my phone number. If you have my business card, you can text my office number and it comes directly to my phone. So I get that text. You can text me at my office number, call me at my office number, and it will come to my cell phone.
Mhm.
Okay.
It includes all of, even me as an executive assistant for my company, I have the ability to look on my staff and see what they're doing and how many calls they're making. So it gives me reports. It allows them to see their own reports.
Mhm. Mhm. Which is really fascinating because I remember I worked for the military and I had an old phone, let's just put it that way. And they allowed me to have a personal line and a business line on the same phone.
Right.
Nowadays I'm looking at, I won't tell my brother. My brother, he just kind of moved in with us he's working in Seattle now until he figures out what he wants to do. But he's got two phones. And the one phone that he really needs isn't working, which is his business phone, is not working, right? And so he's just like,
Sounds
he's
like
got
he
a
needs to
personal phone.
contact me.
Sounds like he needs to talk to you.
I was just
Exactly.
thinking that, right, Keith? Yeah. So
You know,
we
and
have
it's
something for you. Go
the
ahead.
great thing is it does real-time stats. So if you have something that's coming in as a text message, it'll real-time stat you, hey, look, this is an important message. You can set it up to do that.
Mhm.
Not only that, but it allows me to be able to control everything from a portal. Not only is my application on my phone, I can control everything on that portal, but my desktop portal, I have that ability to do that as well. And it's grown my team, and it's also grown my business. We have everything from customer cleaners. So anybody who owns a cleaning service, it is perfect. Your staff can use their own phone line, but they get a soft phone. That soft phone allows them to say, I have that same exact number, but you can send out messages from your desktop. So if you are a dispatcher, I need you to go to this place. What are you doing? You can look at real-time stats, see where they're at, what they're doing, and if they're being productive. But as well, they have the ability to contact you if there's an emergency, and it's a direct contact.
Yeah. Fascinating. So PC technologies.
Yeah, that's good. And so there's a trick. You're able to get 200 some odd cold calls, all the, because you just boom, 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 right?
And if you don't answer, I'll just call you back. There's a quick little button that you just hit that little button. They're just right back up in the roll to call right back again. So it's nice. I'll be honest with you. It's a very selfish reason to enjoy my job, but I truly enjoy my job because not only am I growing my business for my owner, but I'm growing income for myself as well as the freedom of doing what I want.
Right. Because you can do it from anywhere.
I've gotten myself in trouble. I will post pictures of myself on the top of a mountain and I'm telling my boss I'm working. And he's like, wait a second. And I'm like, but you don't understand the gift you've given me. You've given me the gift of freedom.
Right.
I do what I want, but create income. And it's a wonderful place to be. It truly is a wonderful place to be.
Yes. So let's talk about, we had a couple more minutes left. So this bus that you want to empower other women. So you had this incredible journey. You've got nickels. Are you going to pay nickels for this bus, or
I am. I think
or
that's what
just
I'm
stick him
doing.
on the
It's
bus? I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So it's my business plan is evolving. I am finding that men want to be a part of this as well. And
Absolutely.
the great thing is I do a lot of experiments with my own child. She's 11, hates to be outside, of course. They want to be technology
Mm-hmm.
gurus and they want to do everything online. And it's been empowering in that aspect alone, practicing all of the great tricks. But if I can give you a quick rundown of my intention of what I'm going to do.
Right, because I'm sure a lot of listeners would love to either help you in this venture or join the bus or
Yeah.
something like that. Yes.
So eventually we will have a bus that is outfitted with gear. I say we because I really don't have anybody else. This is just an idea that just keeps multiplying in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But I do a lot of scouting. I'm sure that you guys have seen on my Facebook where you see me out taking
Yep.
pictures and doing things of that nature. What I do is scout, because not everybody is in a great healthy spot, right? Especially women my age. I'm 44. Women my age, we struggle. We struggle on a daily basis to drop that weight, to be motivated to get into the gym. We have so many things going on. And sometimes we forget to stop and take time for ourselves. And that was the whole point, was to do a women's group. But now men are finding that they're struggling with the exact same thing. They want that drive. They want that empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
And again, my intentions are to have a bus donated full of hiking equipment, anything anybody would possibly need, from shoes to socks, to hiking poles, even fishing poles. What we'll do is we will get together a group of people who are struggling with the same thing, whether you're struggling with shame, you're struggling with getting out of a rut. I find in my 40s, I get myself caught in a rut, and I really have to stay empowered and focused on myself, and focus really on what I'm doing at the time to get myself out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So moving themselves in a direction. So find a group of people who are struggling in certain areas. For instance, if we did something along shame, and I had a group of people who were, say, roughly around a 2 or 3 on the hiking scale, maybe take them on a 5-mile day hike.
Mm-hmm.
What I will do is, I don't know, I'm a big sticky note person. I love pink sticky notes.
There you go.
And so we'll get a group of people together who want to work on shame, and say that they can only do roughly 5 miles in a full day. I will make sure they have hydration packs. They will have a backpack, bear spray, because bear spray is important.
Right. We found that one out.
We did.
And
And what we will do is we will get together, and the first thing I'm going to have people do is I'm going to have them write everything that they feel shameful about on a sticky note. So one topic at a time. You fill that sticky note pad up. And we're going to hike. We're going to hike it hard. We're going to make it to where it's difficult for you in that level. And the first mile we get to, we're going to reflect on that. So what are you shameful for? And you're going to have to be vulnerable and share what you're shameful for. And then write down other things that come to your mind, because sometimes when you're working your body really hard, you become really angry and you become very frustrated. And so we're going to work that mental aspect. That second mile, we're going to do the same thing. And once we hit where we're going, whatever it may be, again, I like to scout, because sometimes I like to do 20 or 30 miles at a time, but other people can't do that. So I try to find back ways into beautiful places. And whether it be a waterfall or a great mountain view or a lake view, we will get to that point, and we are going to look at every single thing you've put on your list, and we're going to burn that, or we're going to let that blow away. We're going to get rid of those emotions and grow you, get you to a point in life where you feel empowered as a human being.
Nice.
And if it takes 1 trip or 2 trips, maybe 3 trips, sometimes it takes more, but we're going to break that, and we're going to get through that, because the world needs people who are inspiring.
Nice.
We need that. I need inspiration. I need to be people's inspiration. But, being grateful for the moments that we have, these kind of moments, they change you, they empower you. And that's what I intend on doing, is being an empowerment.
Perfect.
There you go. Wow.
Well, hey, Jen, this has been a pleasure, and I have learned so much. And good luck with your empowerment. We will definitely be in touch. PC Technologies, how can people get a hold of you?
Ooh, that's good. Jen Johnson, That's my name. And then my email address would be jenn@pctechnologies.net. And little business card. I don't know if you can see that okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's scrolling underneath. Yeah,
Yeah.
I tell you, it's especially in these times when everyone is focused on what's going wrong and what's not working, and the direction of the country. It's nice to have someone out there like you, Jen, looking for a way to be positive and empower and to lift people up. And so
Absolutely.
we want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. We really enjoyed it. And yeah, just keep making those calls, okay? You're an inspiration for me.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for shouting me out. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
welcome.
All right.
Take
See you
care,
later.
Jen.
Bye, Jen.